I never imagined the woman I once loved would turn into my accuser. My name is Adam. I'm 35 years old, and until not long ago, I believed I was building a future with someone who truly valued me. Her name was Melissa. When we first met, she had this glow, sharp, magnetic, with a kind of warmth that drew me out of the shell I had built after a difficult breakup years before. For a time, I thought she was different, someone I could finally trust. I thought she was the one. But as time went on, the warmth I once admired slowly twisted into something darker. Entitlement, greed, and a fixation on wealth that I had been too blind to recognize early on. It began subtly. A comment here, a sigh there. She'd mention how her friend's boyfriend spoiled her with designer bags. She'd roll her eyes if I suggested grabbing a meal at a cozy family diner instead of a high-end restaurant. I brushed it off, convincing myself it was harmless. But soon small hints became bigger demands. Melissa wanted a luxury SUV, nothing less. When I hesitated, she told me, "Adam, it's not about the money. It's about proving you can provide." Against my better judgment, I drained part of the savings I had worked years to build, thinking it would make her happy. It didn't. It only encouraged more. Vacations she insisted on, jewelry she claimed she deserved, and then the final push, a down payment on a condo she had her heart set on. That was where I drew the line. I told her calmly, firmly, and without wavering, "Melissa, I'm not emptying my future for something unnecessary. If we buy a home, it'll be because we can both afford it, not because you want to boast." Her reaction was explosive. She turned pale, then red with fury, her hands trembling. "You're refusing me?" she screamed. "After everything I've given you?" I stayed quiet, refusing to feed her rage. And then, she crossed a line I'll never forget. Melissa picked up her phone with shaking hands and screamed into it. "He hit me. I'm calling the police. He attacked me because I asked for help with the condo." My blood turned to ice. I hadn't touched her. I hadn't even raised my voice. But in an instant, I was staring at someone who would willingly destroy my life just because I told her no. False accusations can ruin a man in seconds. Career, reputation, everything. And Melissa knew it. She twisted her face into a performance, her voice shrill and trembling like she was auditioning for a role. "Officer, please hurry. He's dangerous." I couldn't believe it. After years of working extra hours, bending over backward to give her more than I could afford, this was how she repaid me. With lies meant to cage me. For a moment, I was frozen. Then instinct kicked in. I pulled out my phone, hit record, and spoke loud enough for her to hear. "Melissa, stop lying. I haven't touched you. You're making a false police report, and I'm documenting everything." Her eyes widened at the red recording light, but she didn't stop. Instead, she doubled down, clutching her arm as if I'd grabbed it. "You're hurting me right now," she shouted. I let out a bitter laugh and panned the camera across the room. "Melissa, I'm 3 feet away from you. You're trying to frame me." That's when fear flickered across her face. She realized her plan wasn't foolproof. The police wouldn't just take her word. They'd see the video, the distance, the calm in my voice. Still, she clung to her act, tears streaming as if her life depended on it. 10 minutes later, there was a knock at the door. 2 officers stood outside, stern ready. Melissa lunged forward, crying crocodile tears, pointing at me like I was a monster. "He hit me. He threatened me," she wailed. My heart pounded as the officers looked at me, their hands hovering near their belts. I steadied my voice. "Officers, I have everything recorded. Please watch this before you decide anything." I played the footage, showing the calm distance between us, her fabricated sobbing, her false words. Slowly their expressions shifted. The tension drained. One officer turned to Melissa and asked flatly, "Ma'am, is there a reason you're making a false report?" Her face went pale. She stammered, glancing at me, then back at them. For the first time, the power was no longer in her hands. The officers pressed harder, and her performance collapsed. "Ma'am," one of them said firmly, "filing a false report is a crime. We could arrest you right now." The tears stopped. Her voice, once shrill and dramatic, shrank to a faint mutter. "I just got upset," she whispered, stripped of her act. I stood with my arms crossed, drained, staring at the woman I once thought I'd marry. I had loved her, dreamed of a future, and now I saw her for what she was. Someone who would destroy me without hesitation if it meant getting her way. The officers pulled me aside quietly. We can file a report against her if you want. At the very least, think hard about staying in this situation. I nodded, grateful they believed the truth. No charges tonight. Thank you for clearing this up, I said. Melissa's eyes widened with panic as the officers left. Adam, please. I didn't mean it. I was just angry. Don't leave me, she pleaded, reaching out. I shook my head. You accused me of hitting you. You were ready to ruin my life because I wouldn't hand over my money. There's no coming back from that. Her desperation twisted into rage. You'll regret this. No one will believe you over me, she spat. But her voice cracked, betraying the collapse of her power. I didn't argue. I walked to the bedroom, grabbed my overnight bag, and packed in silence. Each zipper closing felt like a chain breaking loose. By the time I reached the door, she was on the floor, sobbing. I didn't look back. That night, I checked into a cheap motel. Dozens of messages buzzed my phone, half apologies, half threats. I deleted everyone. The next morning, I contacted a lawyer. By the end of the week, our engagement was legally dissolved. I returned the ring, cut every line of contact, and blocked her on all platforms. Months later, I ran into one of the officers from that night. He clapped me on the shoulder and said, "Glad to see you doing better. You dodged a bullet there, son." He was right. I had. And though it hurt to lose the future I thought I wanted, I gained something greater: peace, freedom, and the unshakable certainty that I would never again let anyone hold that kind of power over me.